Hi, everybody. This is Joanna. Thank you for tuning in to our early morning Ascension show, or whenever you are watching this. Early morning, early evening, early day, whenever it is. It's a new way for you to wake up and align with who you are as spirit, align with who you are as a master of light, align with who you are as a spiritual magician of love and compassion and giving of your whole light. And we've got I'm feeling really, really excited. There's so much that's being kind of awoken in me as this beautiful little sacred child that wants to come out and play. Now that a lot of my own personal healing has been exposed and healing and bringing back to a new version of me, bringing it back into the fold and kind of recycling that energy, recycling the old energy to bring it to a new understanding in my new vessel of who I am. And when I say vessel, I mean the full multidimensional vessel, the vessel of my higher mental body, my higher emotional body, my higher spiritual and physical energies, and being the magnetics of the moon, which reminds us we are having eclipse this weekend. So those are about that spiritual connection, that physical connection of who you are as a human, transcending into this grander notion of who you are and what you exist within. And what truly exists within you is the heavens. And how you can own and honor that aspect of your vibrational heaven experience, the centering of who you are as a power pillar of light. I'm clearing already just saying that. Holy cow. And allowing your beautiful experiences of anything that you want to be transmitted and transmuted and transcended and alchemized in these full moon energies, and create ceremony around it and face it for all it's worth, face it from every angle, and say, how did I learn? How did I grow? How did I expand my choice for health and wellness? How do I expand in what I'm worthy of, and how I want to be treated, and how I want to be, how I want to co-create my reality, and how I want to love myself and honor myself and really nurture and bless myself. So really face everything right in front of you and put it on the table and put little rocks and stones around it. Just write it on a piece of paper and have ceremony with it. And then call in your beautiful ancestors and your guides and the healing teams and the angels, and to really bless it with you. Say, wow, this is a huge part of my life that I grew so much within it, and I saw it from every angle, and I allowed it to be a part of my honoring story for who I am, not suppressing it or depressing or say it doesn't fit, it's not me, it's not mine, it's not anything that we pretend to reject or protest or tell to go away is a part of who we're meant to be in oneness with. And they were showing me that that's how each and every one of us create the rainbow bridge to a new dimension that others walk with. We say walk on, meaning that you've created that bridge of acceptance for others to walk on, and it is a rainbow bridge of ascension. And they showed me this many years ago, and this is why many of you that are awakening will start to see as part of your ascension synchronicities is you'll be connected with rainbows, because rainbows is a part of what I talked about many years ago in my radio show about the 13th tribe. Thank you, Spirit. Think of all the sacred ancestors, where the ancestors are truly guiding us. This is what I've been feeling vibrationally and emotionally. Our ancestors are truly guiding us. Thank you. They are guiding us into this new experience where we are creating the rainbow bridge, which is our vessels of who we are. It's a multidimensional metaphor, if you will. We are that bridge of ascension that others walk on. And we say on as that you are leaving a rainbow ray of light of who you have been and who you are becoming and breaking into. And so it's a multidimensional metaphor. Play with it and see how it fits and feels for you. But our ancestors are the ones that are leading us into these new realms of the sacred garden, the garden of love, which I also mentioned many years in my radio shows about the gardens of love that Source Creator, the Divine Mind, was showing me that we are all each seeding. The new tree of life, from 3D tree of life to a 5D tree of life. And I've made an illustration of that, how we are letting go of the vibrational stories that we've been bathed within, born within, and chosen to be characters within. And we can now take those and become the wisdoms of it. For we are never our past, we are never our environments, we are the wisdom and the light within it. And that's how we break through to become this new bridge where we are entering into new realms of dimensional play. And it's really exciting. And this, I think, is pivotal. And I'm going to mention this to all of the divine feminine and those that are also in the divine masculine form that are honoring and bathing and starting to harmonize their divine masculine. Their divine masculine energies with their divine feminine, whether it means you're attracting a divine feminine soulmate, counterpart, whatever they're called. The terms and words oftentimes make us feel limited and we get stuck in those terms. And sometimes we build expectation around the terms and words, which they're not true and accurate. And so that will be a different show altogether. But just honoring, as if you're in a male body, you are absolutely a part of the divine feminine becoming and healing and rebalancing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Everybody on the planet is going through a complete realignment of the divine feminine energies within them. And that means that opening to receive, being that level of becoming of nurturance, and showing others that it's okay to nurture, it's okay to be intuitive and empathic and compassionate. Because the children need to see this from us. We are being the vibrational tools, the vibrational radiations, the vibrational bridge builders, through which others get to walk on and then create their own light from that light that we have left. It's all templates, if you will. Again, they're metaphors, and feel into how it feels for you, because each and every one of you have a unique understanding and vibration of what rainbow means for you. It's a crystalline frequency. Thank you, Spirit. And so, as we're experiencing these beautiful new becomings and these new emanations of our own awakening, we are the rainbow bridge of all that we are. Because remember, as we're living in our higher spiritual truth, and we're allowing that our own inner guidance, our own inner clarity, and our own inner confidence of who we are as an epicenter of light, mind, body, heart, spirit, and soul, we are becoming that source essence that becomes more clear, more confident through our clarity of who we are. Clarity is, who are you in your truth? Because your truth changes as you do. As you expand into this new truth, it changes and expands. And as so, you're releasing the density. That density is what clogs up that rainbow experience. You want to be crystal clear with your intentions of peace and intention of joy and expansiveness to accept all. Accepting all, and this is where many of us have that challenge, especially if you're a light worker and a mother that just tends to overgive and want to fix things, and oftentimes overcomplicates life in all ways. Those of us that are empaths and healers and overgivers, we tend to really overcomplicate things because we just give so much, and we don't allow others their ability to seed and grow and transform and transmute. Releasing all of those cords of obligation, and those are really from outdated roles, definitions from our lineage and from our klosh on what the divine feminine role is meant to be, as well as the divine masculine. Oftentimes the divine masculine gets stuck into similar roles, except it's out or in. That's why divine masculines find it challenging to truly connect at a heart level and a soul level, because they're running and being ruled by egocentric dominating roles, which had them out in the workforce, separate from the family, not being emotionally and intimately intuitively guided, just simply making the money and honoring that part of their role. However, all of those roles and definitions are being broken up to be sifted out and say, okay, what does every soul want? So every family will go through these transitions. Every circle of friends will go through these transitions. It doesn't mean that when you say goodbye to a friend that they might not come back. I've had many times in my Ascension, especially when I was first going through Ascension, there was many of my circle of friends where my teams were preparing me that you're meant to break cords with these people, and then they come back because you each wanted your own individual paths to learn in your own unique ways without having to be reliant on one another. And friendships often do that. But we contract with one another to have those experiences where we have to break away and we have to experience that trauma and that loss and grieve it, because we grieve everything that we've been habitually patterned as a safety mechanism. But now we're learning that we're always safe, right? That's what we're here to be, constantly, unconditionally safe. We are always spirit. We are always spirit. Whatever we are faced with as a global challenge, we are always spirit. And the more that we give love and acceptance and unconditional honoring of, we're healing all of those energies that felt unsafe, that we had to protect ourselves and put lots of walls and gates and alarm systems and all of those things that are illusions. If we all live within the safety of who we are, and we are all living within the exploration of who we are, and we are all living within the creative expression of who we are, it releases the ideas of judging one another. For each person is unique and meant to be that way. There would be no bullying. There would be no reprimanding for how one person acts and behaves and how another person acts and behaves, as long as it's within the creative joy. If you're at that level of being in creative joy, there would be no need to act out to get attention. There would be no need to act out to get someone's approval. There would be no need to act out to do whatever the ego thinks it needs to do, because you would be living in full creative expression and you're accepted because you accept yourself. It's when there's no lack of, so basically this whole entire Ascension show will be about acceptance and allowance. And in that, they gave me the title today that we are the summoning of a new age, and we are summoning of the new era of light, and we are summoning of the new era of sacred child exploration and expression and experience. So that is the summoning of the new age, and we must summon it in. Just as if we said the other day, it's okay for us to declare and have the right to stand in our sacred space and say, I choose to release all negative energies from my space and negative entities from my space and negative consciousness from my space. I love you and I honor you and thank you for this experience and this learning and this blessing, but I choose to release you now. Please go back to source. And then you do a cleansing on your space and call claim on that. I claim my sacred space. I claim my sacred voice. It's okay for me to act and behave and be as fully as I am. I express my way as a spirited being as uniquely as I can, and I will continue to do so because that's who I'm meant to be. My teams are showing me that many of us have gifts that we don't even have names or terms for. And so who's going to pave the way? We cannot pave the way for one another, and also the beautiful sacred children that are from so many dimensions and universes that we are even beyond what the words that we don't have for right now, for us as adults. You see what we're saying? So if we don't start paving the way for these new eras of becoming, for these new stages and these new arenas of becoming, that is not inventiveness and ingenuity. That is not the evolution of a species. We must be fully okay to say, you know what, how I express myself and how I am becoming spirit is really beautiful. I'm like this beautiful sacred butterfly that gets to change my colors and I get to be beautiful and elegant in all ways. And it's okay. I embrace that about myself. I hid it for a really long time and I suppressed it and I depressed it and I felt bad and I made myself small because others were not okay with my ability to become forward in who I am as light. But now I want to spread my wings from within. And that's what the opening of the lotus is all about. That every time you unveil, this is what they showed me about 2 or 3 years ago. I think I mentioned it on my radio show. Anytime that you open and transcend a negative belief, that lotus petal opens up from your core center. And that petal opens up, and then this petal opens up, and then this petal opens up. The more you become free in who you are, which thus, that's a huge throat clearing. Thank you, Spirit. Which thus then allows you to call in that greater light because you're releasing that density from those chakras and from that inner lotus that you are, which is a multidimensional expression, which is concurrent and congruent with your Merkaba and your DNA. It's all in alignment. It's all one. It's all a fluid. Sometimes my tongue doesn't get around the words fast enough in the way that my mind and the energy is flowing through me. It is all a congruent and a seamless threading and weaving of energy of you. Your greater Merkaba and all that you are is coming into your being like this beautiful constant flow of the infinity in all directions. And this is what they showed me, and I taught this in my sacred travels, of the infinity coming out from your core, right at your navel. And this infinity opens up, and this infinity opens up, and this infinity helps clear and cleanse if you're wanting to work with your field and your light. And we'll be working with this in multidimensional healing experiences. And this experience is the lotus of who you are becoming. You're taking from all of the energy from above and honoring it from within. You're encapsulating it within your heart and choosing, this is who I want to be in this moment. I get to be the sacred child of this. And all of your chakras start turning on, and all of the densities in your creative centers and your I am presence start clearing out. And you release the limiting beliefs, and there goes your lotus petal and the lotus petal and the lotus petal. And that is what becomes what has been known as the butterfly. Because inside that chrysalis, you're allowing yourself to constantly become with transmuting of the old energies and alchemizing what was into these new loving self-beliefs and these new loving self-clarity and self-confidence. Yet I do get to choose who I am. I don't need it from outside experiences to tell me who I am, how valid I am, how appropriate I am in certain programs or systems, that I can have my own unique perspective based on what wisdoms are being activated, based on what classes I choose to sign up for and I get to go with. I don't need certificates. I don't need anything to tell me that I'm valid or validated. I don't need any of that because I am the vessel of source, and I can activate the wisdoms from all timelines and all DNA that I've ever come with. And this is what they were showing me, is that this is the summoning. We're summoning our ancient gifts. We're summoning our ancestral gifts. We're summoning all of those ancestral patterns and roles and definitions that we were suppressed within, divine male and divine female. We're now summoning it forward to be lifted up, to be broken up, and why so many people are going through their dark nights of the soul. Where do I fit within this? And do I really want to be subjugated to a role where I'm working 9 to 5 to say that I support people? Well, no. Well, how can we all get together and say we all support one another? Why do we have to go by rules and definitions that don't suit us anymore? because we want to be free and liberated. If you are living entirely vivaciously liberated with grand vivaciousness about who you are as spirit, and you are creating from the temple of who you are as spirit, you will have that monetary free flow of money and abundance, because you are pouring all that you are into all that you do creatively, and that's going to come back to you. People are going to know your vibration of truth. That vibration of truth is also the clarity of who you are. And what we offered many times before is that clarity of who you are is the rainbow of all that you are in your aura. And that's why truth is a vibration. Because when you're living in your truth and you're speaking of thy truth and healing of thy name, your aura becomes clear and cleansed. Because it's just a natural innate process of the light and the love living through you as source creator, as the breath and of the eternal breath of source. That is what is called. Many have misunderstood it in ancient texts. They're just showing me this right now, and I'm just speaking as I'm speaking, and I'm not knowing what I'm saying. It is the channel. That we are understanding what true salvation is really about. And it was misinterpreted and misunderstood in many of the ancient texts and the dogmas. And this is what you will be finding out as you enter into the summoning of new arena. For you will allow yourself to be sacred and appreciative and gratitude of all the ancient sacred texts that held you in confined dogma. But what can you as a spirit being of a universal omnipresent now be? And what does that mean for you? And can you allow yourself to step outside of what was so very damning to you as a physical being, always being held in purgatory and always being held in subjugation and always being held in damnation? What does salvation truly mean for you? Thank you, Spirit. And allow yourself to be the blessing and the essence of who you are as love and light. And just allow yourself to be the expressive butterfly of you. That's my salvation. I don't want to be held to confinement roles and to societal roles that say you must be and walk and act and behave and live in a certain way. It's okay if others are, and I absolutely accept everybody and where they are in their path. But for me, I want to be able to sing and act silly, because that's how I express the inner child, and that's how I release all of those damning energies from all timelines that said, no, you don't know spirit that way. Well, I can see spirit far beyond what others can see spirit. And so I'm allowed to experience spirit in my own way. And that's how I create my rainbow bridge for other children to walk on. Many children, I mean, how many of this happened to all of us? Because we end up turning those stories off. And this is where each person will have to go through what they call the separation. The separation wounds are very, very deep. And they, even if you're in the 12th dimension, you still have separation wounds from source, because source is the highest, purest experience that we have with unconditional love, the purity of who we are. And every time we separate and go into dimensional bodies and dimensional forms and dimensional platforms, dimensional realms and dimensional planets, we have that wound of separation. And that always stays with us until we heal those wounds of separation. Because that's when you're starting to reunite yourself with pure source. And then it begins every time you move up in dimension. That's why it's always that soul's ache to move and expand and evolve, because we want that exploration and that ever finding of that greater oneness with source. That's why every dimension above us, if we will, it's just a word, it's a vibrational adventure and a vibrational journey and experience for us to experience our greater wholeness and connectedness with source, with spirit, with unconditional love, our purity of love, our purity of self. And that's why we constantly ache to evolve and explore. The masters did. And even those in the 12th and 15th dimensions have those experiences of aching to expand and explore source in its most expansive, united way. So we are the ones that are summoning the new age. Those of us that feel as if we're on the, we are the groundbreakers of doing things and honoring things and creating these new experiences in the systems that we're coming out of. We're coming out of formality systems. We're coming out of systems that were imbalanced. We're coming out of systems that had us so subjugated in roles and definitions and career IDs and templates that were so confining. And now we get to rewrite it in whatever way that we feel in that is in the unique journey of each of us to become that beautiful sacred experience of who we are, spirit. And our ancestors are ushering us and summoning us in. Go through the gates, go through the gates, go through the gates. You've seeded enough beautiful seeds of your intention to be more of who you are, to explore more of who you are, and to express more of who you are in the unique way that you are meant to. Because there will be many of you, what Jesus had showed me a while ago was that me expressing my uniqueness in my light language and in my sacred songs and in my sacred tones that are very, very ancient. They go back to one of our very first languages. Thank you, sisters of the Pleiades and the Divine Mothers collectives. Thank you. So I'm just doing a sacred prayer of gratitude. Thank you for them being with me. Thank you. That my sacred experience of the templates of energy, there are codes going in and the imprints of intention of light going in. That's why I do what I do. I know what it means and I feel what it means, but those of you watching might think and feel, what does that mean? I am here as an activator in whatever way I am able, because you in your field and you in your DNA and you in your genetics will have your codes through and remembrances of who you are as the whole source, and you'll be active in whatever way you need to. And Jesus showed me that I am here just to simply express and be of joy and excitement of who I am in my expression. And in that of itself is the activation that others will then grow from. And this is why they showed me again, the summoning of the new age is that we are that rainbow bridge through which others will add their own unique colors to. And this is why, thus then I've said for years and years and years, the greatest evolutionary experience that we each have is our own unique creative expression for who we are as our purest, most genuine, authentic, creative self. That is the sacred child. And that is what the Mother Mary and the Holy Mother had showed me last year at Mother's Day, this time last year. So we're honoring this anniversary. That this time last year is I came up with that beautiful week-long ceremony that I had on Mother's Day, where I did a ceremony every day with the Mother Mary and the mothers of all over the galaxy. For this understanding and this divine teaching of the divine relationship. And that divine relationship is the rainbow bridge that is within the center of our oneness and all that is, regardless of the skins and the bodies and the colors and the feminine energy bodies and the male energy bodies we come within. We're here to harmonize it and be anew. And we have to summon it. We have to call it in and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to see myself, to know myself, to believe in myself, and to be a new way. That's your spiritual evolution. You get to choose, and spirit will activate you. Your ancestors are right there saying, yeah, there's so much that you get going, girl. Just activate it. You know your presence with the earth. And I know my presence with Gaia. There's not anywhere that I walk that I don't feel my presence with her. And sacred songs and sacred harmonies come forward. And she's laughing with me, and the angels and the fairies and the gnomes and all of the beings just come out, and I can hear the trees speak, and I can hear the rock consciousness speak, and I can hear the water speak. And that one experience that I had was so very special. I was walking along this trail a couple of years ago, and that's when I was just understanding water consciousness and the body of the Christ that's held in our Christ consciousness energies and the light language and the light frequencies that we all create. Thank you, Spirit, is held within our water bodies, and our water bodies through the DNA and through the fields of crystalline light, the fields of the crystalline grids, and through all that is water or DNA. And that's how we activate and transcend the densities. It's through our conscious awareness and our intention and our working with light, the light that is withheld, and the consciousness that is through the water and breath. And so, because we're physical beings, we're matter beings, and so is Gaia. And so I was walking on this trail and this path, and it was a very wet and fall-like day. And as I stepped on the ground, the ground spoke with me through my fields and my higher self. And the ground had spoken consciousness energy to me that there were certain things in my physical body that was lacking in certain minerals and stuff. And the water consciousness was speaking with the water consciousness in my bodies, and it was offering me help and guidance. And so those are things that shamans of old, like myself, many of you are awakening into your shamanism. You have those abilities, and many of the ancient tribes had those elders that were those shaman healers that could speak with the energies and the healing energies of Gaia, because it's held within the Christ consciousness of what we are as Metatronic light. It's our multidimensional ability to communicate. We're beings of infinite sending and receptor experiences. And as we're conscious of that, that's how we become aware that, wow, what I'm putting out really doesn't matter, because it becomes matter. So let's be conscious about it now. Let's start releasing all those fears and all those wounds and all of those energies and all those, the little petty disagreements we had with ourselves that says we weren't valued enough. It doesn't matter what other people tell you and show you and dictate to you, or roles they want to stuff you in. No, I get to choose what role I want to play. And I get to be expansive and creative and explorational, that I get to be, because I know that I'm building a bridge for others to also step out of their comfort zone and be what they're meant to be. That is evolution. That is how we allow the light to constantly be ever eternal light. That's our everlasting breath. That's our everlasting experience. You want to live forever, step outside your box and start exploring your creativity. You'll just start expanding, and those cells start waking up, and those cells, wow, this is different. Wow, this is different. Wow, where's she taking us? It's all through creative exploration and expression. You get to experience yourself as a soul of creative genius. And so they're saying, this is the summoning of a new age. This won't be easy, but with a can-do attitude and always speaking from peace and love, all will be miraculous. And so this, I'll give you this visualizing because it sounds kind of corny and cheesy as a, you know, I remember being in many of my professional workplaces and we always had those challenges and those transitions we had to go through when we had to cut back staff and do more work kind of thing. And you always gather your team around and say, well, it's going to be challenging, but with a can-do attitude, you can do it. You know, and all the cliche manager things that you say to empower your team and inspire your team to do more with less. We've all been there. Or you get cut, you know, your family has a cutback in wages and you say, we can do this. We got to just ration our food. We got to really truly find out what is valuable to us, and we got to do things in a new way. And this is what we're going through this whole virus experience and through everything that we go through as a collective. We're a family now. So how can we start reaching out and doing things differently and being more creative in who we are becoming? Because we will. Our collective experience as socioeconomic understandings is changing and shifting. It will never be like the way it was. It just won't. So how can we really be creative and expressive and really start serving the greater good through the greater good offerings of creative service and joy and crafts and goods and all that we need? What we truly need is not really what we thought. And that's where we're getting really honest with ourselves. You know, who am I? How do I want to express myself and be? Am I really being authentic to me? Am I being unapologetic? No, I have beautiful gifts and I have beautiful experiences, and I'm absolutely true in my sensings and in my intuitiveness. And I want to be around those that honor that. I want to be with those that, you know, will honor how I express myself and how I explore myself and how I operate as a higher vibrational being. I want to be with those that honor that and actually appreciate it and vibrate that back to me, because I choose to live in this experience of free exploration of spirit. And so they were saying it with a can-do attitude, because there's always going to be those transitions where everybody is at their own unique pacing and their own unique speed, right? And there'll be some that it will be really easy with change and some that won't be easy with change. And that's okay. That's where we get into that full allowance and full acceptance. If you are allowing the energies to help shift and transmute, releasing the densities, releasing the harm and the hate and the pain and the greed and all of those things, when you're acknowledging and accepting it, you can then embrace it back in and say, that was a part of my story. I get that. Now I can be easy with it. There's no more resisting of the resistance. You're just allowing it to be a part of your story. Because the only reason why you resist the resistance, there's many reasons. For A, safety and fear of not belonging. Because you were told in these certain little vibrational stories, family, dogma, society, that it wasn't okay for you to feel those things. Well, of course it's okay for you to feel those things. You're an emotional being. You have to feel those things. If you're not feeling it, you're suppressing it and saying, well, I better become who everybody else is. I better act and behave like everybody else is. No. You need to feel what you need to feel to heal it. Accept it, let it go. Then you get to realign and say, okay, that's a part of my story. I allowed that to be healed because those are soul fragments on other timelines, on other realms that I have to accept. Everybody before you is an acceptance of you. In any way, accept it. It's part of you. It doesn't mean that you engage and be okay with poor behavior that is toxic and negative. That's not what that's saying. That's saying that is where that experience for that person and that soul might be. And then you can choose to disengage and say, I accept you fully where your soul is at, but this is where I choose to be and who to engage with. And the experiences that I choose to allow all that I am to be a part of. Because if you're trying to change yourself to fit into energies and fit into circles that don't accept you, that's when that becomes toxic. And that becomes when you create illness for yourself. You don't have to act and behave like anybody to fit in. And why would you? Right? You want to be authentic and genuine and real. So what is real for you? You get to define that. And you get to be okay defining that. And that's why all of the circles will change. It's okay for everybody to be exactly where they are. But no one should ask you to be less than. No one should ask you to want to be put into a smaller box because it makes others feel comfortable. You know, and we all have to go through that because that's a part of awakening. That's a part of building your spiritual courage and your spiritual bravery. That's how we summon in the new era. That's how the children are so feeling confined, you know, confined not to be their creative selves, and why, you know, they go through those explorations of having their own self-discovery about who they are and being okay in that discovery and being okay in that self-exploration and that self-expression. It's okay for them to have those arenas of exploration where they try different hair colors and different experiences with jewelry and different experience. We all go through it. We're meant to constantly evolve, never be stuck in a box of somebody else's meaning of how we should behave or how they should want us to behave or limit us or put them in boxes. No, we're individual beings and we each get to create and express and explore and experience ourselves as spirit. That's how we summon in something new. You're calling in and you're summoning it. Summoning is that as you act it, you're calling it in from spirit. I've sent out the vibration, spirit, and now it's going to come back to me. And you got to own that. I am summoning my expressive uniqueness. I'm expressing my uniqueness of joy, of sacredness, of singing, of song, of activation, because I absolutely know it adds to the color of Gaia. If I'm feeling full and expressive and happy in who I am, I absolutely know there's color in there. I know it. I can feel it. And that's why they show me when my very first awakening moments is that you're known by your vibration. You are known. Make no mistake about it. Beings that you have no idea what they look like, no idea who their names are, they know your vibration. When you're sending out a vibration of pure, unapologetic joy and happiness, your vibration zips throughout the entire creation, because you are God in motion. You are God in poetry. You are God in song. Call God whatever it is. The creator of all that is the essence of breath. Kind of important, right? Kind of important. Water, right? Breath, right? It's kind of important. Yeah, that's source. That's the excitement that we are now summoning. Yes, within my breath there is greatness. Within my breath there is within my breath there is great creativity, and I'm going to express it. And I feel really good about expressing it. And so this is the ceremony of last year being that divine relationship of who you are as expression. Your creative expression through the allowance and acceptance of all that you are in all moments. Because in that, you get to accept others for who they are and the path that they're walking, and be okay with their pace and their speed. This is why everything's going to start to unfold in different ways, so that everybody gets to suss out, well, our relationship is changing because I'm changing. So let's change out the paradigms and the dynamics of this relationship so that everything is fair. Everyone has their own unique desires and needs met, and everybody is being a part of the resolution, not just the divine feminine being the part of the resolution, which most often than not it is in family circles, because they have always been rolled and traditionalized as the intuitive healers and caregivers, which is true. But the men also have their divine feminine energy, that they can be intuitive caregivers and healers. That's why we're going through this shift and change, so that every unique being has its opportunity to be the one that, you know, creates that care and that omnipresence of rebalancing the male body, that I do have the will to create my financial abundance, and financial abundance is only received through divine feminine. So if your divine feminine body is out of balance, you will have a hard time receiving the blessings and the gifts from the creator. That's divine receipt. We did a show on that last year, actually, divine receivership. If you look back 1 year from now, I think it's called divine receivership. And that is the divine healing of the divine feminine energy, where you're receiving the energies of the mother. You seeded. The seeded is the action part of the will. I am seeding the will of the Father of who I choose to be. And we say Father, again, outside of dogmatic text, because the creator, God, is mother and father. We are all sacred children. And it's okay if people don't believe that, want to believe it, want to put it in a text, it doesn't matter. These are just my sharings and inspirations of what I know to be sacred energy of the heavenly councils and the creators. There is the divine mother energy, which has been written out of the human experience, which is part of my passion to bring forward and say, yes, we do have a divine mother. Divine mother, the creator of experience. We're again micro macro for this universe. It's different in other universes, but for this universe, the divine creator would offer itself in another way to have its offering of experience in a direct relationship of another creation. That is the manifestation of the most eminent, pure understanding of, we don't even have words to create this, because we just don't. I'm not sure if any human could offer any words that could describe source creator. Source creator offering itself again and again and again in an infinite number of ways, across galaxies, across universes, to say, I choose to create this out of pure love of exploration of all that is. Thank you in the clearing of the sacred energies. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father. And in thus creating the examples of all that is divine feminine. What is divine feminine? Whoever thought of that? Well, source creator did. And okay, so what is this? And it's all, again, genetics and science and all of those things that we want to talk about as the species of all that is science and spirit. There's an elegant divine system of source creator. There's all purpose, there's all reason, there's all divine, benevolent stories and poetry and song. And it's up to each and every one of us to find out that, sussing out those stories, that we can stand within those energies and say, yes, this is who I am, because we're entering into a wave through which we're showing our children you can be absolutely in your divine feminine energy and your divine masculine energy all at once, and be balanced in it, and portray it, and radiate this, and emulate this. Not to be imbalanced in either way, because others might not accept you and others might not allow you to belong in their clique. That's okay. If you're here to radiate, if you're here to be of something, then be of it. because you are the vibrational experience and color and vibration known to creation that's meant to build that bridge for others. There's always an evolutionary beginning. There's always, 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 always. We are now summoning it. We're now summoning these new energies to create in beautiful elegance of acceptance and oneness through the allowance factor. If we're not allowing something and saying no to it, we're still suppressing, and we're going to create more of those programs of fear and limitation and greed, subjugation, not belonging, separation. That's what that is. The more that you can accept, the more that you're allowing all that you are to become whole, because that's a part of you. Anything you say no to is a part of you. You just got to get to that point where you say, okay, what part of me does not want this? Then you got to suss out that story and ache for it to become a part of you. You know, as Master Jesus showed me a while ago, can you love what you know to be the deplorable? That's how you heal your planet. You've all created stories that you can now say and have words and judgments for, but how can you love it and bring it back to healing? So that you choose differently, so that you choose from that higher perspective of oneness. Because if you choose your oneness and you know that that person that you might choose to do things to through an intention of lack of integrity, you know that that person is you. You know that's going to come right back to you. Then you wouldn't necessarily choose those things. You choose to live from a space of oneness where all is sacred. All life is sacred. All beings, all insects, all birds, all everything is sacred. So going back to that statement, let's talk about the light shift. So they said, the summoning of a new age. Now, this won't be easy, but with a can-do attitude and always speaking from peace and love, all will be miraculous. So what I saw is that we were all on this kind of light shift, and we were in this, everything is always circular for me. We were in this etheric little crystalline circular tube. And there was one of us that was standing there like this, saying, what can-do attitude, our higher selves. This is when I say we. Our higher selves are saying, okay, now we're going to meet in certain times. We're going to have certain classes together. We're going to meet in the ethers. We're going to meet in the 5D forest. And because we're always everywhere creating, all of us. But at certain times, we need to come together as a collective physical vibration. Remember, there's stories going into what we're saying because your higher selves are connecting with me right now. And your higher selves are threading you the codes that you need to go farther on this story of exploration. This is why we're doing what we're doing and we're saying what we're saying. And those of you that have been with us for a while, you know this. Those of you that are new, this is why I'm explaining it the way that I am. We were on this light ship, and one of us was saying, okay, now with a can-do attitude, we can do this, because we understand that sometimes coming from old earthly systems, we get a lot of resistance, and we get a lot of experiences where those soul triggers will keep wanting to pull us back into old cycles and old stories of misaligned behaviors, where we're acting out of karmic fear, and we're acting out of karmic injustice, we're acting out of karmic less than and lack, wanting to go back to the old familiar roles. Familiarity plays a big experience in karmic cycles. And because that's what feels comfortable, even if it's not good, even if it's not healthy, they're familiar. That's what it's the environment that you're used to. But now we're understanding that as we're being spirit, we are not subject to the environment. We are the light within it. And I choose to bathe my light in all environments. That way I get to choose my experience, not have the experience choose me. No, I am co-creating my experience with Source because I am the light within it. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with others that might not be okay with that. I'm okay with people not understanding it and getting it, because I absolutely understand light. And at some point they're going to turn around and they're going to come up with something totally genius. And I'm going to go like, wow, that's really great that you did that. Wow, look at you. It's all going to come around because it's all light. Everything will be bathed and everything will come up for renewal and for offering of acceptance and offering for allowance. And so they were showing us at this beautiful light ship, and we were just saying, okay, now we understand how we might get triggered back into these systems of familiarity and compliance to old ways and all of those things that the soul gets tested at. But then we always come back to the center, and we're all on the light ship, and we're saying, but we absolutely know that each and every soul on our planet is sending out these heartfelt vibrations of change. We want to be more healthy. We want to align with our highest self. We want to align with our highest spirit of creative joy and creative testament for who we are in healing thy name, the salvation of thy whole self. All of the things that we could say in different ways, in different forms. And it's this beautiful light ship then started giving this beautiful little jiggle and this beautiful rock, because that was the excitement that the soul was saying, yes, we can do this. We can do this. We can come forward and we can stand bravely in spiritual courage to say, this is who we are creating ourselves to be now. Because that will ruffle the feathers of those that don't want to change and are slow to change. And that's okay. Allow it and accept it. And then continue on your path. And it will be challenging sometimes, because we do have to walk away with, that familiarity of old roles and old ways that we used to look at things and be things and have vibrations set in certain ways, but just different now. And absolutely, it will be a part that all of those courageous energies of summoning the new will go into the templates through which inspiration, they're showing me. Thank you, Spirit. Inspirational threads of energy are threading into the conscious omnipresence for new systems to be birthed from those breakthrough summonings. As we're summoning that ache from within to be and express and explore ourselves differently, that summoning has an equal energetic quantum experience in the omnipresent. We're creating that omnipresence sacredness. Thank you, Spirit. I'm just getting used to the new energies and how they're flowing simultaneously, and how to get my mouth around some of the things that are coming out of multidimensional frequency, because I'm also feeling things as a vibrational experience and a vibrational story within my feet chakras, because it's connected with the earth chakras that's going through many changes right now. Thank you, Gaia. So I'm just seeing a big, beautiful, huge golden cord that's coming up through my root chakra and through my earth star chakra. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to the inner earth shamans that are now connecting with us. Thank you, shamans. And we're all threading you many inspirations through the earth. And of many of you that are really connected with our Gaia energies, you might feel many of your ancestors coming forward to you in dreams and coming forward to you in meditations to be a part of your sacred journey, for we're always with you. But now that you choose to turn yourself on, if you will, to the multidimensional ways that you're able to communicate and receive messages, you'll just feel the happiness of beings being with you. You'll feel the happiness of your ancestors just kind of having, they're reminding me, remember this is a multidimensional communication. They're reminding me right now, and they're giving me a thank you. They're giving me a, I'm apologizing right now for those of you that are new to this channel that are not used to our multidimensional communications. And I am still practicing on how to offer my services, because it is a multidimensional experience, and there's many, many pictures coming in that I'm having to go back and forth to so that you get the vibrational story. They're now showing me a picture of my my experience, a very treasured and valued experience of myself with my grandparents sitting having Sunday dinner. And it's many of the ancestors and many of the lineage that we come with that are multidimensionally here with us now, entering into this new summoning of a new age vibrationally, for us to be okay walking through the doors, because many of us have lost and are challenging to let go of energies that have been so familiar with us, and we're having to walk through doors seemingly by ourselves, but we're not. And so that is a multidimensional lesson for those. That is a multidimensional lesson and blessing for those that so need it when they're moving through transitions, to honor and know that in this new summoning of the age, that all of the energies and the spirits are around you. So as you're opening to the authenticity of who you are, as you're offering your expression of who you are without apology and authenticity, you're able to feel all the loving energies of the spirits that are always with you and always co-creating with you and helping you build into the multidimensional genius and greatness that you are as a vibrational being of uniqueness. That's because, again, we don't have words for the things that many of you will be creating. And I've had many personal sessions with you. So I know. I know your uniqueness, and you are here, and I'm here to help inspire you of your galactic, cosmic, omnipresent, universal energies. And you're here to create whatever names and terms that you want. Don't put boxes on it. You know, allow yourself just to simply express who you are in the uniqueness, vastness of all that you are, and start creating. You know, don't hesitate to create. Create it in the most vibracious, vibrational, vibracious. Yeah, that sounds cool. We're going to create a new word, vibracious, effervacious and vibrational, all put together in one word. Create it in the most vibracious experience that you can for yourself, because you get to choose, just like we just choose to create that one word. See how fun this can be? Vibracious. Who says you can't create a new word? No rules. So they were saying that being of celestial DNA, you all have the capacity to know all as family. It's built in. That's part of the DNA. We're one. Your DNA is oneness. So feel into that, because that's a multidimensional statement. It's not just the words. There's vibrations of stories in that. Thank you, Spirit. Not one of you is from one selected group. You are of the universe. You are the blessing that is this. And in this, you can release the petty disagreements that make you feel separate. Feel into the oneness that is your higher vibrational resolve. So when you actually go in with an intention to say, we are one in this, how can we resolve this? How can we be a part of this co-creation? It might feel a bit awkward and uneasy because it's not familiar. And that's okay, that's meant to be. This awkwardness is gonna sort itself out, and it will feel okay, because Source will make sure it's all bathed. When you're opening in oneness and acceptance, you're allowing Source to bathe all that awkwardness. And all that unfamiliarity just becomes a higher level of becoming. So Source knows what Source is doing. We just have to allow it. When we are clamped down and not allowing, Source can't flow and make everything all good. Source is like the icing on everything. Source is the icing on all cakes. That's Source. When you're opening and allowing it, Source will bathe it. And everything will just sort itself out. That's Spirit working on your behalf. Make no mistake about it, dear ones. You ever allowing yourself the opportunity to co-create with spirit as a manifester. Things just work out. That is spirit. That is spirit on your behalf saying you are worthy of this blessing, and we're going to do everything we can to make this happen for you. We're clear the way for you because your intention and your pure heart is so in equal of it as measured vibrational oneness. And you want something, you care for that so badly, and something that will serve in a greater way to others. Spirit will absolutely meet you in equal measure as the lessons are learned and bathed in light. And Source, when you open up to say, I accept this lesson, I allow it. And Source will bathe it and make all things work out. And you just think, and things just work out. You've aligned with that vibrational reality that says, I am worthy of things just working out. I am allowing for the highest and the best because my pure intention is in that highest and best, where all are served. All are served. Not one person walks away with more. All are served in the ways that their souls need it. And that's why we have to let go and allow all souls to unfold in the way that they're meant to. Because we can't control anyone's process of learning, process of growth. Their souls need that process of growth to be all that they're meant to be. And we can't hold it back or anything. We just need to be our bridge and allow other people to walk in their own unique way. And that was only through acceptance and allowance. And that's pure love. At the highest level, your DNA knows it. Your DNA will show you and it will be felt. I get you. I'm one with you. That's awesome. And unapologetically, go about your business as long as you're in the goodwill and not harming anyone, because then you're still working from ego fears, right? It's a beautiful dance. It's all elegant. It's all purposeful. We all are in the oneness. We just don't know it oftentimes. And so the nurturance of God is that that is the nurturance of God, and that's the divine feminine, when you're nurturing those energies of Source Creator, of God's Spirit. When you're nurturing it, I get to nurture this. I get to be in love with who I am. I get to honor my gifts and be that of gifts. I get to experience myself co-creating and creating multidimensional communications that are not understood on most levels. And that's okay. I'm breaking the way so that other children can come through and communicate in the way that they need to. I understand there's a higher purpose, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So let it be. Let it be. Let it be. As the Beatles said. We're not responsible for fixing. And again, that goes back to the whole karmic thing. We're not responsible for fixing or making anybody be with us or anything. No. Let go of all those cords of expectation. No. You are here to be the best and the highest for you. That's it. And everybody else's path will be aligned in your being of you, unapologetically. That's it. Your children sign on with you for the exact reason that you will absolutely, unequivocally meet and beat your dreams. You set out a soul that says, in my soul contract, in my earthly lifetime, it says, I will meet this. And I meet this because you need this as a contract for me to thread you the highest potential that you have to walk your bridge. And yes, there will be challenges. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. People might not accept it and people might not be okay with it because it breaks all norms and conformities. That's okay. That's the whole purpose. We're not meant to stay stuck. We're moving and shifting vibrations and energies and becomings and belongings and all that we are as Source. It's not meant to look like it was. And that's the process of acceptance. Being okay to let go of your old version of reality. Be okay to let go of the old version of you. Be okay to let go of the old versional habits and patterns. What all that was, whatever that is, it's energy. And it gets stuck and stifling. It's like a house that's like it needs a big decluttering. Source it out. Start recreating other things for it that serve people. Send it to those that actually need it. Whatever you can think of, be as creative sussing out. Do it in a blessed, sacred, appreciative way to say, now I want to be clear. Now I get to be the bridge for me because I'm accepting fully who I am meant to be, and I'm going to live in my dream. So you're not living your dream, you're living someone else's. And then you're not living fully in authenticity of who you are as a spirit. You're meant to be authentically true, creatively true to you. That's true authenticity. That is when you know you have a genuine vibration and you are known by your vibration. Throughout all creation, you are known. Okay, there is a sacred vibrational truth with each and every one of you. And each and every one of you is the sacred song, the poem, and the harmony that is so very true and beautiful and only can be found and lived through your total embrace and allowance of you and all others. So embrace you, embrace all others. That's how you get deeper to that truthful song and that truthful vibration of who you are, Source. Then you get to sing it and express it. Does that make sense? It's always that much for Pisces. You're always alchemizing. You're always shifting. You're always recycling you and you, you and you, you and you. Who was I yesterday? Who do I want to be right now? Right now. Right now I'm love. Right now I'm the mother. Right now I'm the father and the sacred child. I get to explore, I get to express, I get to alchemize, and I get to stand in my truth, because my truth is beautiful for me. It's okay if others don't accept me. I'm not asking them to. Don't ever go out into society and say, I hope others accept me. No, you accept you. All you need is you. All you need is you, and Source will make sure that all is met. All is met. You are a vibration of sacredness. You are a song and you are a poem. That's all you got to worry about. So be that beautiful essence of you. And so we're going to do an activation and a sacred song. Thank you, Holy Spirits. And we're going to call in all of our ancestors. Thank you, Spirit and ancestors that are offering us. And we're going to do a Goddess Isis oracle card after our song activation for the summoning of a new era. For those that are aching for change, just open your hearts in unconditional love and just give yourself permissions to receive. And we're calling in the angels and the guides and the teams and the celestial teams. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to the celestial councils of light. Thank you, archangels, Pleiadians, Syrians, Arcturians, Cassiopeans. Thank you, Cassiopeans. Hi, we're calling in some energies from, thank you, Sirius. Hi, thank you. And ground. And breathe. And ground. And a hand on your divine sacred heart for your activation of intention for change, your intention for becoming, your intention for love and acceptance and allowance. We're calling up to the highest codes, and we're calling in the highest frequencies of love and light. For breath is the intention of sacredness, the sacred becoming, our intentions for sacred becoming, our intentions for sacred becoming, the clearing and the cleansing of all paths, of all densities, of all lack and negativity. And we're stepping up into the positivity of who we are. We're stepping up into the enthusiasm of who we are. We're stepping up into the positive attitudes and attributes that each and every one of us have as omnipresent DNA beings, where we can create new ways, we can create new bridges of oneness and acceptance and love and harmony. Because isn't that why we're here, dear ones? We are here to experience harmony. And it is through our challenges, it is through the wisdoms that we gain to know that we are the creators of all that is light and life. Thank you, Spirit. And for those that so desire to break forward into new creativities, into new beings of essence, into new soul contracts, into new soul becomings, into new creative abundance and health and wellness of abundance. Because remember, your health and your wellness, as you have all experienced, is a part of your abundance. We choose to experience health and wellness and abundance, where we are harmonized with our body, minds, our hearts, our spirits, and our souls through the oneness of the health that Gaia offers us. Hey, Shishiyaya Tatka. Hey, so that was the Oversoul asking that we have appreciation for the energies that we have sent out in prayers to those of India. Thank you. Your oneness is felt and known. Thank you. We're giving you appreciation for your prayers. Hey, we are paving and we are seeding the new lands and the new seeds and the new soils and the new trees of life. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father, where truth and love and light are pure, through the peace and the harmony of all that we are as acceptance and allowance of ourselves and one another. Hey, hey, So delicate and so elegant, the branch and the trees and the leaves and the flowers and the seeds. Thank you. Sacredness, sacred, sacred. Thank you. That all are needed, all are required, all is source. all parts of that tree are needed, are they not? All parts of that tree as the tree grows is needed, is it not? And as the leaves fall and move into the ground to be recycled, is it not part of the tree again? Is it not part of the nutrients again? Is it not? Is it not part of your growth? And is it not part of your nourishment to be that for one another, that as you grow and as you move and as you nourish one another on one another's paths of full acceptance and allowance of who you are, do you not become the nourishment of your newer? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You're allowing your experiences of wisdom to become new nourishment of growth. Thank you, dear lighter ones. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, that was so awesome. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Hi, so they're showing me that in that excerpt that they said about each and every one of us has a unique sacred song, and in that is the sacredness of our okay, so it is the it is the vibration of our own unique sacredness. Each of us has a vibration of sacredness of source. And we feel sacred when we are expressing it, when we are exploring our sacredness, and when we are experiencing our sacredness and giving ourselves permission to be sacred. And so what does sacred mean for you? What does the vibration of sacredness mean for you? So this is the weekend where we honor the divine feminine. So just soften, nourish, feel the receivership of source. And what does sacred receivership mean for you? What does it feel like to be really empowered, to feel, wow, I'm feeling the sacredness of who I am as divine feminine, goddess and all. We are great healers and great leaders and great wisdom keepers. We're great bringers to the land. We're great bringers to the families and to the children. We're creating new. I bring that from the heavens and I say, I am creating this anew, and I'm creating new codes of light and love. And have it be okay that you're going to have those moments of discomfort and awkwardness, but it will become new. It will become a higher version of new now. And that's change. So be okay with that. Thank you, dear lighted ones. Thank you. And so here is our beautiful card for our goddess deck. Oh, wow, that's so great. That's so cool. The talisman of potency, and this is the charging of vibrational objects and how they play a part in our sacred becoming. And so thank you. And so they're just showing me that that's the vibration that source offers with us through our sacred vibration. Thank you, Spirit, again, micro, macro. The vibration that source encodes us with as the beautiful blessing right from the highest separation of all, each and every one of us that we have. Okay, so they're showing me this as this has never been talked about before. And so we're offering this as a brand new channel right now that's coming through as they're showing me the micro, macro connection. As each and every one of us are encoded with the sacred harmony and song that we are with source, our vibration of sacredness is unique to each person on this planet. That vibration of sacredness, when we are tapped in and turned on and expressing ourselves, exploring ourselves and experiencing ourselves as source, sacred, creativity, we then align ourselves with the higher self and the oversoul and the oversoul of oversouls, all the way up to that original experience of separation with source. And that's why we constantly, through all of our evolutionary timelines, feel those aches and those pulls to constantly expand out. The ever-seeking of our divine discontent is our oneness with source. That's the sacred embrace. So, wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for that. I want to see if there's anything extra in here. And that's by the beautiful, ever talented Alana Fairchild. I love her stuff. I think that's who, yeah, Alana Fairchild. I love her. I've got every one of her decks. They become an extension of your field, your energy field, and your focusing of power and intention to helping you heal the spirit and the split between what we thought we were and who we truly are. So again, that's why we have the sacred objects that we do, because it helps us bridge the becoming of who we know we are. So sometimes those objects are not needed, but sometimes those objects are needed. Just as if I am an object, if you will, in the highest divine sense, I don't undermine me to be any less than a beautiful divine object. But we're saying object because in our 3D experience, that's what they have meant. They've very, very negative connotations, just as we're always transmuting the negative connotations and the negative judgments that we have from our past, and why we're all constantly renewing them. We're constantly renewing, releasing old negative judgments to beautiful connotations of love and divine excellence. And so the divine object that I am to hear and help activate light. I'm here to help activate your unique creativity that's beyond anything we've ever come from. So be okay that in that awkward period where we're trying to define and sort ourselves out, we don't have to define ourselves. We are just infinite creative beings, and have that be the new standard. How unlimited and infinite is that? The old world wants to keep us defined and put in little boxes with name tags and name titles and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have to be, because we're known by our vibration. It's a vibrational experience. So, and this also comes with a reminder to cleanse and clean and clarify and purify. And this is so timely because we're in spring. We're entering into a new era. Remember, we're getting ready for June, summer solstice. And what we talked about earlier in our show today, an offering, is just to do those clearing and cleansing of the negative energies. And just call commandment to your space. You have the right to call in the highest vibrational energies for your space. Space, space, epicenter of space, and your home space. You have the right to say, okay, negative entities and energies, out you go. You know, if there's been any disgruntledness or any, any of the emotional and mental energies that everyone goes through release and transitions, and just cleanse your space weekly. Cleanse your space with intention, and the beautiful, thank you, the beautiful sprays, the beautiful essential sprays. And each spray has its own unique experience. And just clear and cleanse your space and your aura field. And again, that's how you create clarity. Your clarity is your truth, living in your spiritual truth, your energetic truth, your mental truth, your emotional truth, your spiritual truth and physical truth is all one, your aura field. And that's how you allow yourself to maintain clear chakras. By being completely harmonized in your divine bodies of male and feminine, and being that expression of exploration and curiosity and excitement, that is the divine sacred child, and why it's so very needed, and for us to emulate and radiate and be that of authenticity for our children, so that they can also be their most authentic self, and to express and explore themselves in the most beautiful way, and truly let them be released from outdated systems that we're absolutely redefining and rewriting in every moment, because we are here in every moment creating new systems of learning and exploration and expression. And that's why we're here. And everything in between is okay. They're all systems of blessedness. It's not separate from us, and it's not wrong. It's all right. Everyone in their unique experience is right for where each soul needs to be. So allow it. Thank you, dear light ones. We love you. For those of you, I sent out a Facebook for those of you who want to join us on Facebook, because I usually put most of my posts until my webpage gets up. I put all of the posts for classes on with Facebook. For those that want, because it's going, I want to make sure that those that want it, because it does get deleted in the sharing profile and the high in the hightail space. They delete it after a little while. So those of you that want access to the first Divine Feminine Moon Wisdom and Healing class, leadership class, and the last week's weekly World Ascension class, if you want access to that class, just send me a donation that is in the PayPal link below, and I'll send you out that link if you want it. I just sent a little post on our Facebook yesterday, because if you wanted it and that gets deleted, I don't have other access to it. So once it's deleted, it's deleted. And so I don't have room on my desktop to keep it on my desktop. I will at some point be creating an online store that will have access to all of those classes. But if you're new and wanting to join our World Weekly Ascension class, we talk about the alignment of the epicenter of who you are, understanding more and more the multidimensional bodies, understanding who you are as light, honoring and expressing who you are as spirit, and becoming more available to who you are as spirit, your higher self, and your soul, and all of your teams and all of your guides and all of the heavenly councils and the beings that are with us. That's what that class really teaches and helps us practice to align our destiny with our spirit as spirit. And then the class on the 11th is the new moon, Divine Feminine Moon Healing and Wisdom's leadership class. And that's on the May 11th. So if you want access to that class, and you want me to send you a link for those classes, donate. The link is below. I think that's all I have to say about classes. And the glyphs are between 8 and 10 days to get those back. So if you've ordered a glyph, it will be 8 to 10 days. And those that have not received your glyph yet, that sent in your payment last week or the week before, you will get it by Sunday. And those that just sent me money for a glyph, you're not going to get it for another 8 days. So that announcement was for the ones that put their money in last week or the week before. And was there anything else? Oh, for the divine feminines and the divine mothers, and for those dads that are playing both roles as mother and father. I wanted to read you that you are beautiful, some kind of wonderful. So thank you. You're beautiful, some kind of wonderful. And for all the divine feminine, all the divine women, we love you and we honor you and we cherish you for your divine exploration of who you are as a healer and a nurturer and a wisdom keeper in your own household. And to know that all mothers, this little prayer and pearl, it's because of you that all know the patience of what truly is. Mothers really require patience in all things because we are allowing ourselves to be that of patience of all growth and all nurturance. We know what patience is and strength is and selflessness is. And we allow ourselves to emulate this and radiate this to the all. All mothers, you are the greatest example of love. And all of creation wants you to know that you are truly and so dearly appreciated. And we are so grateful for all of your undeniable and unconditional love and devotion for care and balance and calmness and harmony and peace and goodness in your family, and all that you play for your children, and all the dreams and wishes you have for your children to be happy and to be joyful and to be good in their own skin and to love themselves as deeply as you're learning to love yourself. So we love you and we adore you, divine mothers and divine goddesses and priestesses. Thank you for joining us, and you are the abundant garden upon earth, and we thank you so very much. We honor you, dear ones, and we send you rainbow love and kisses. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow for our weekly World Ascension class. Thank you so much, and we love you. Rainbow kisses and tickles. Bye.